Hello everyone, my name is Peter Morris, and today we're going to talk about a little of the divergence research that I did these past few days. To start off this whole divergence research process, I had to do a little bit of brainstorming. I made a list of a bunch of different things that I could possibly do, whether they were in regards to exercise or going on a hike or just going somewhere new, and I was struggling a little bit. But after a while, I figured out a few things that I wanted to do. I wanted to go to some historical sites with my sister. I wanted to delete social media for the day. And I wanted to go for a run in the morning because I haven't been on a run in maybe a year, which is pretty crazy. Now, my sister is a huge history buff. So when I was thinking of ideas on new experiences that I could have, she came up with the idea of taking me to some of the historical spots in our local area that she had seen that I had never seen before. So the first place that we decided to go to was Bullock Hall. It's an 1839 Greek revival, and it's actually home of Teddy Roosevelt's grandmother, which is pretty cool. See, all around the place there's these beautiful tall trees. I thought that was super nice because, you could see the nature and it had been maintained for a really long time. But the one thing that really stuck out to me that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is that they had these slave cabins right outside the house. Now, this was a little eerie to me because, you have this beautiful area, but then you have these slave cabins and you realize that these people who own these beautiful houses, they weren't exactly good people. And it really just kind of makes you think about how our history has its flaws and how not everyone was perfect and we can't always romanticize what people did. Now, the second place that my sister decided to take me was Barrington Hall. This is also an 1839 Greek revival, so they were built the same year. It was home of Barrington and Roswell King, who founded the town of Roswell in Georgia. Well, obviously, you guys probably don't know much about Roswell because you guys aren't from Georgia, but it's basically the next town over for me, so I'm very familiar. So I was able to check out, the home of the guy who founded the town that I drive through pretty much every day. Now, one thing that I thought was super cool about the house is that there were these huge windows that were the sizes of doors, and my sister told me that back in the day, they could open up these windows like they were doors, and that would increase airflow in the home, which is cool. It was like old school air conditioning. Now, the other thing that I thought was kind of cool is that the garden that they have at the house is actually maintained by a friend of mine from school. Me and Lucy know him, and I guess his mom, she maintains the garden. She, cuts the flowers, cuts the plants, makes sure everything looks nice. So that was kind of cool to check out, so I wanted to get a nice little picture of the flowers. Now, this was a nice experience, but then after I did a little research, I checked out the Wikipedia of Barrington Hall, and I realized that the house was more than likely built by slaves, which is another example of how all these nice southern homes, all these plantation homes, they were all built off the back of slaves, which is really messed up to me. It it just makes it kind of eerie. It's a lot of bad juju, and it just makes you think. I mean, it's I'm not surprised because at the end of the day, I'm in the deep south. I'm in Georgia of all places. But at the same time, it's upsetting. It's honestly upsetting. No, I thought checking out both of these houses it was a very valuable experience and it was very educational, learning about some of the history of my local area where I live. And it was good quality bonding time with my sister, check things out and, talk history with her because it's her favorite thing to do. But at the same time, I learned from this experience. It was, it was positive to check things out, but at the same time, it was weird seeing all this all this stuff that was, based off of slave labor, and it's upsetting and it doesn't make us feel good. And I think at the end of the day, we got to be able to recognize that us as a country, our history is not perfect. We've made a lot of mistakes over the years, but we need to learn from these mistakes and learn in the future that we need to treat each other right. We need to treat each other equal, and we need to treat each other with respect. So when I see these houses, it makes me think of a different time where we didn't treat each other like we need to. And as we go into the future, we just gotta be good to each other. We gotta treat each other equally, and we gotta be nice to each other. I don't know if that makes sense. I know this is a hard discussion to talk about sometimes, in regards to our troubled history. But at the end of the day, we just need to treat each other well. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but that's honestly how I feel. And that's kind of what I took away from this experience. The next thing that I did was try something new. Now, I've been wanting to improve my physical health over the past few months. I did a little bit of working out over the summer when I didn't have other things to do. But I kept doing the same workouts every day. I did a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, body weight, a little bit of weights, but I never really did much cardio. And I've kind of been wanting to get into that because I'm not a very good runner, but I know it's a good workout. So this this past few days I decided you know what? We're going to go for a run. That's going to be our new activity because I don't remember the last time I've been on a run, if I'm being frankly with you. So on Friday morning, I decided to get up early. Usually, I don't need to get up early on Fridays because I don't have class till 1 o'clock. So I was like, you know what? Let's get up early. Let's get a little change of pace. Let's start the day, with a bit of an exercise. So I got up. I ran 2 miles. It probably wasn't my best run. I wasn't very fast, but I did feel a sense of accomplishment after the fact. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little sore today. You know what? I'm glad I did it. I'm not the best runner, but I thought it was a positive experience, try a new workout, get outside. I thought it was good. Now, the last thing I decided to do to change my habits for 24 hours was I decided to delete social media for a whole day, which is kind of drastic for me because I spend a lot of my days, scrolling Instagram, scrolling TikTok, scrolling Twitter, and I'm not going to lie, it probably wastes a lot of time of mine. So I was like, you know what, this is like something that is like such a big part of my day. Why don't I just eliminate it and just like, go with the flow and see what it's like to, just not check social media for a whole 24 hours. I like set a timer and everything. So I deleted all the apps and I just kind of went about my day. And I'm not going to lie, it wasn't that big of a change of pace. It honestly made me more productive. Like in the morning, I was actually able to get almost like my entire Business 104 like coding lab done before class because like I wasn't spending time, screwing around on TikTok. Instead, I was like, you know what, let's just do homework. So all the times that I was usually like checking social media, I was doing homework. So I was actually to be able to like, it was super productive for me. I got a lot of homework done from like Friday and over the weekend, It was probably good for me, honestly, and it didn't feel like that big of a change of pace. I didn't miss it as much as I thought I would, if I'm being honest. But, at the end of the day, it's interesting because social media is like such a huge part of our culture today, like everything's on social media. But I didn't feel like I was really missing out much. I mean, I checked social media like after the fact the next day, and like I was like, I didn't have like FOMO or anything like that. I just kind of went with the flow. It was a different experience. I don't know, maybe I'll try that again sometime. Maybe on like some of my busier days when I have more homework, I'll, just delete Instagram for the day just so I can like focus up on what I need to get done. Now, after all this divergence research, I thought it was a good experience. I got a lot out of it. There was a few things that I took away. First of all, I think trying new things and experiencing new activities is, it's good for you. It's good to try new things because it creates new ideas, If you do the same thing every day, you're never going to change how you think. But if you do something different, it varies your perspective, which I thought was important. That's the big thing that I took away. And, also, it got me thinking, all this divergence, like, activities, they got me thinking about, like, just myself in general. And, like, it got me thinking about things that I don't usually think about. Like, I don't usually think about, like, our troubled history as the United States or how much time I waste on social media every day. It's, it's good to, recognize the different things and have a little bit of a different perspective. So, Divergence Research, I thought it was a useful activity because it changed how I thought. At least maybe for a few days, but hopefully for the near future.